not like a big theological discussion tonight. We're trying to gain insight into how men are wired, what they want from their wife. So we're just asking some, I'm sure, very typical men. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So the first question is, why is a wife's display of respect important to you? Like, how does it impact you? I'm just going to start down here with Lance.
They want to introduce themselves?
Oh, Lance, Micah, Mark.
Mark. The Marks.
My name is Lance, and I am Colleen's husband. We've been married almost 7 years, so which is a miracle. That's all Jesus, all of it's Jesus, and these ministries, by the way. I just want to start with that.
The question was, why is a wife's display of respect important to you? How does it impact you?
I thought about that a little bit, and you said not to think about it too much because you wanted this conversation. But as a man, and I think all people want to be respected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Women, men, and I can just speak for me. It's very important to have respect, and just respect from my wife, but respect from the people around me. And I can't tell you exactly why, I just know it runs very deep. And I'm not sure I can put words to that one, but I might learn something here from this guy.
Okay.
He's about to tell me.
Micah.
I was really hoping that Lance would have more that I could. Yeah, for me that was a really hard question to quantify. Why that is so important to men, I do not know what that is, but I think that respect aspect feels like we're doing something correct, or that we're doing the right thing. Like, I know I feel a lot of pressure on me as, what I believe as a leader in the family, for my kids and for my wife. And when she shows that respect to me, it makes me feel like I am doing something correct. And helps when, that affirmation really helps me a lot. So it makes me feel like, okay, I am doing something right. She catches me in moments where I'm doing things right. So
There you go. All right. This is Mark. Mark 1 and Mark 2.
Big one and big two. So, to put it in, I guess, terms of feelings, for me, respect from my wife is how I feel loved. I don't know if I could quantify it and like this is the chemistry and exactly what how this works, but if I'm leaving for work in the morning and my wife says, I love you, honey, somewhere in my weird brain it's like, yeah, I know. Like, I know you love me. But like when I'm walking out that door, I work for the city of Bellingham, and my wife calls out the window, she's like, hey honey, and I was like, yeah, she's like, go save that city. Right? I light up. Like my chest puffs up. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna visit the city. I just feel love. Like I feel like my wife's proud of me. I feel connected to her. Makes me want to come home as soon as possible. So it does. It drives me to come back to my wife. Respect is immensely important to a man. If I don't feel respected, I don't feel drawn to come home. Like, my home is my castle, it's my retreat. I go out to battle and I want to come home to a safe, warm place. And my wife making me feel respected there's just no words to describe how that makes me want to come home.
Nice. All right. Mark 2.
That's good.
What he said.
Yeah. Basically, yes. I didn't even write an answer on my question here because I just take it for granted she's going to respect me because that's the person she is. Not so much that I gain that respect or should have that respect, but literally Debbie's done a good job at that over the years. How many years have we been married?
2.
Yeah. So we're still working on that, but that I think it's mutual. I think that's my thought on that one. It is a mutual thing between God. You're respecting God first of all, but also then each other in marriage, and that's a big deal. And I echo what these guys said, so I won't take much more time than that.
Okay. Thank you, honey. Okay. What are some ways that a wife can make her husband feel respected? Like what communicates respect from your wife? Maybe that would be an enlightening moment for you guys to explain. I'm going to go over to you first, Penny.
You gonna stay in the room? Okay, just checking. Let me think what I wrote.
His
No,
writing's
to have
really
a-
bad.
Yeah, basically just have an authentic interest in your life, not just a falsehood. I think in that, dealing with other people that I've dealt with and counseled and stuff like that, there's a lot of falseness going on, but the reality is this is a real thing. And I think that's how, go back to how we respect God, but also God respects us as human beings and gave himself for us. And that's the part that I think Debbie does well on that one. There's just an honest, open statement of, I respect you, even when I don't deserve it.
More right, other Mark.
I am fortunate because I have a wife, Karen, who I believe understands that godly design dynamic of a husband and wife in leadership and mutual submission, but a wife submitting to her husband, but also a husband submitting to his wife. And as far as that respect piece goes, it's, I gave one example, go save the city, that's a big thing, but it's the little things is if we discuss something and then I make a decision about what we're gonna do as a family, her getting my back on that feels very respectful. But that opposite's there. If you second guess, if I feel like I got second guessed or I do something and my wife were to go back and undo it or do it a different way, then that would feel like I wasn't trusted and I wasn't respected. And so that's one of those things where we just have to, I had to learn, like if there's an area in my wife's life where she really has a hard time letting go of, because I love her, I just won't really make that a big thing because I don't want to put her in a position of doing something that I would end up feeling disrespected over her. But she also does the same. She's willing to find ways to let go of some things and just follow me so that I do feel respected. So it's a lot of years. We've been married for 25 years and I think we're kind of getting it.
It's a process.
It's a process.
So, what makes you feel respected?
For me, it's what I'm into, like, acknowledges things that I do. I mean, that for me is huge. I like to think that I work hard, always striving after doing that. One of the big things I really think a lot about is trying to be the same person in front of Amanda that I would in front of anyone else. And so within that, I don't want to do something that would make her lose respect for me. So I try to live my life with that thought in the back of my mind. Like, would this be something that I would be okay with everyone knowing about me? And I have not lived my life that way in the past. I'm sober now, 8.5 years. And in that life, I hid everything, man, and I lied, and I did everything like that. And so when that came out in the open and I got sober, I decided, with the help of this ministry, on the other side, not this one as much, but that I was not going to do things that would make, for example, my wife lose respect for me. And I think about that often.
Nice.
Things that she does is acknowledging when I'm doing things right.
Okay, cool. How about you, Lance? What makes you feel respected?
Well, I think, heard it before, ladies, I know you've heard it before, but we're simple. Men are pretty simple, and attaboys.
Yeah.
Attaboys are huge. That goes a long way, but they gotta be authentic, and we have to deserve them. And-
Yeah,
and
authentic.
I think one of the Marks hit it over there, is authenticity is huge, because that's the honest, and that leads to trust, is I think is the number one thing with any relationship is trust. And I'm gonna say Jesus is first, and for me it's recovery under that, and then my wife. And so I got to keep in that order for that to work. So there is a formula, at least for me in this one, and I'm not one of the average guys in that respect, but you can say if I'm in recovery, that is just sin, is what that is. Recovery from what? Drugs, alcohol, it's anything, it's sin. So we should all be in recovery, all of us, but especially men should be in recovery, and that trust will be there. And that goes a long way to what we're talking about, respect.
Keep the microphone. What makes you feel disrespected? Are there certain things that...
Tough one.
It's a trap! It's a trap!
Theoretically.
Well, I can say this for sure, and maybe you don't want to hear it, but it's been going around for, I remember my grandfather, it's called nagging. And it's a big one, and my wife is very good at not doing that, and very, very good at that.
Thank you, Debbie.
And that was, and to put it right back to Debbie, I wouldn't be married here without Jesus. The Band of Brothers or Squadron of Sisters, we would not be married.
Yeah.
This is a miracle as it is. I was never married before. I didn't think I'd be up here talking about marriage ever. And so this is all about Jesus, and this is a wonderful ministry you guys got going on. But without this ministry and what you've been teaching all these years, this wouldn't be as easy as it is.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. What makes you feel disrespected? Not that Amanda never does these things, but you've seen other women do it.
Yeah.
It's a good practice.
Whenever she corrects me on loading the dishwasher.
Oh.
No, that wouldn't be involved.
And I always joke that, she does not have to tell me all the time to like get something done, you don't have to remind me every 6 months. I'm gonna get it done. Don't nag me.
6 months.
So yeah,
Or 2 years.
yeah, right. So the nagging, yeah, I've been in a situation where it was like catching me in I know I do things wrong all the time, but when you are getting pointed out about those things consistently, usually we know when we're doing something wrong and we don't need someone else to point it out. At least for me, I'm battling the things that I do wrong all the time. And when someone points it out all the time or consistently gets me in that, it's like, I don't know, Lance made a good point that we are simple. And I think about when we have a dog, it's positive reinforcement, not negative.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. What makes you feel disrespected? Not by Karen, obviously, but you've seen other wives do these things.
It's a universal answer. It's the nagging. But that's a rough word because I know that at the heart of it is like most women they have something that they'd like to see get done. This is like the one time that they're asking for help. Like all those times we have conversations that you don't want guys to fix it, and then the one time you ask for a guy to fix it, it doesn't get done. So I can see that being a point of frustration. But I don't know how to say it.
So how should a woman approach that then? If there is something that needs to get done, how do you not nag? What is the better approach?
You pick your battles.
Okay.
You call up somebody else.
So here's the reality. Yeah, don't do that either.
How important is that?
I have, there's been a couple of times where I'm going to go to the neighbor and I'm like, don't do that. But at the same time, she mows the lawn because I don't get to it sometimes. But anyways, the pick the battle thing is kind of important, all right? At the darkest point in our marriage where I was struggling with some things that I was taking as disrespect, I didn't fight for that. Like I gave up and retreated and ended up in deep, deep sin. Where that was really when I was supposed to fight for my wife the hardest. And what that fight should have looked like is me letting her know, what you're doing right now is hurting me. This is hurting our marriage. This is pushing me away. I'm feeling disrespected. I didn't voice that. And this is going to be a hard thing. Most guys don't know how to. They don't know how to sit there and say, this is hurting me. I'm withdrawing. I feel disrespected. They don't know how to communicate that. This is not something we are taught. ever. And unfortunately for us, it ended up in a horrible place. Infidelity on my part. I own that. My wife did not drive me away. I ran away. But now I've learned. God brought me back. God saved our marriage. God, it's the best our marriage has ever been.
Come on.
Ever.
Praise Jesus.
But I won't let that happen anymore. If my wife is doing something that makes me feel disrespected, we talk about it now.
Nice. Okay, let's pop the microphone
Sorry.
there. And not that I would do these things, but
I was gonna say, it's such a theoretical thing, I don't even know what,
Yeah.
two things come up in mind, to my mind, is that I don't really give a rip in a lot of case, and I'm bad of hearing, so when she says something, I just smile. I just go on my way.
thank you for that. Okay. All right.
I also wanted to say too is that, I don't know about these guys, but I am incredibly forgetful. And so for me, I'm very aware of that.
It's a helpful thing.
And so I encourage Amanda consistently, please remind me.
Yeah.
It's not that I am ignoring you or
Yeah.
I don't want to get these things done that you've asked me to do. I don't remember.
Maybe it's a thing like the class. Sorry.
Okay.
So maybe it's a thing like the classic. You don't want the guy to fix it. You just want him to listen. Like at this point in my marriage, I've learned. Hey, honey, is this something you just want a shoulder for, or are you looking for solutions? And she can say, I'm just looking to share. Okay, I shut up and I listen. I know what I'm supposed to do now. And I've learned how to go to the next level and be like, how did that make you feel?
Okay, we're gonna go to the next discussion. Wait, we have many more. Okay, we're switching topics completely. We're off the respect topic now. Now we're on to real doozy. Other than physical appearance, like physical beauty, what makes a woman attractive? Besides that, because as you age or you have kids and different things happen, you don't look like you were when you got married. So what other than like classic physical beauty do you think makes a woman attractive?
Love for Jesus, first. Second is humor. Third is confidence.
Like that. Okay.
Yep.
Write these things down.
Right? I mean, that's what attracted me to Amanda is like, she loved Jesus, that was the biggest one. She's pretty funny, and she's incredibly confident and capable. That, I don't know, for me, confidence, that's a big one.
All right.
That was a big one, it really is. Short.
The way my wife looks at me.
That's a
To this day, 25 years later, she looks at me like she's a high school girl with a crush. And it blows my mind every day. I feel like I don't know how to explain it. And she still glows. And she loves everybody. She's just beautifully attractive to me. And physical stuff is just, I don't see it. I just see her.
That's awesome. Okay, this is gonna be kind of tricky. Good luck with this question.
No pressure.
I fully agree with these guys, and I wrote down literally The Wizard of Oz.
What?
The Scarecrow, if I only had a brain.
What?
Other than physical beauty, what makes a woman attractive to a man? A brain.
Oh!
I mean, looking is one thing, but that's gonna go away. Some of us got a little older than we used to be. Think, oh, wait a minute, what happened there? But the brain, the continuous, and that's where I appreciate my wife in that.
Okay, good answer.
I got brains and beauty, so
Oh.
I was gonna go there, but
Okay, the next question is, what do you wish most women would do differently when they communicate with a man?
We have another jury member.
Since you broke, you get to go
He was
first.
a guy.
There's only one answer. Okay, well, answer. You go first.
Yeah, you go first.
He's got it figured out.
I'm ready. As far as just please, ladies, if you have someone on your mind, let us know. Simply, just straightforward, man. Just hit us in between the eyes with it, please.
No hinting?
No, please, no. Not for me. But I might be different.
No.
These guys might say something different, but
Yeah.
that is first and foremost and the only one that I have.
Yeah, that is so true. I am not super intelligent. I cannot figure it out, just please tell me. The other thing, get my attention first, because I am somewhere else most of the time, just in the nothing box, right? That's a common term. I am there most of the time. And so, sometimes Amanda will start talking to me as if I'm there and I'm not. Then I'm coming in halfway into the conversation going, wait, what are we talking about? And so, like, look me in the eye and go, hey, okay. That's for me.
Okay.
So
She gives me more credit than I have. You know.
when I was gonna get married, I was ready for I was studying all the stuff, how to communicate. I was ready to have those late night conversations. And then, so I'm saying this because I'm sure not all women are the typical ready to share everything. And that's exactly what God gave me was, well, my wife who doesn't share everything. She actually is more like a guy in that respect. So I think, what's the question? What do we want most women to
Do
differently in the communication? And that would be figure out what's not working and don't do that. Like if you know that your husband doesn't pick up on clues, like if you say, and we've communicated, if you say, "Ooh, that looks pretty," and you think you're getting that for Christmas, that ain't happening. And you gotta put in an email with some reminders. Hey, I would really like this for Christmas. And that's not being unthoughtful for us. If we don't hear you, it's like that's not us being unthoughtful. And I think some women do that. Oh, he doesn't care. No, we do care deeply. Like if you told me you want it, I will go out and buy it because I care about you deeply. But I'm not a mind reader, and guys aren't wired that way.
So clear communication.
Clear communication.
Please.
But the opposite, like I said, if you know that, just understand where that communication difference is, and work within that.
Yeah, clear was one, logical, direct, and to the point.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just succinct, but don't you want to talk about how it makes you feel? Okay.
That's coming here.
So if you, as a guy, as a husband, are having a frustrating or bad day, what would you like your wife to do?
This is a public safe place, right?
But that's okay, been there, done that, heard us.
Is this really a question?
It's a good one.
Okay, Lance. Lance is ready.
Well, I cheated a little bit.
That's okay.
Hi. I need space.
Yeah.
Space is huge. And then, please no drama.
Oh, yeah.
Those would be the two big ones.
Thanks. So if you're having a really bad day, what do you want your wife to do?
Yeah, space is kind of a big one. Come home, I just need a little bit of quiet most of the time. I kind of come down and plop down on the bed for just a little bit and just, I did it today. Closed my eyes and just, it was great. Amanda just laid next to me for a while and it was just quiet and that was really nice.
See, now women would want to just what's wrong? What can I do now? Blah, 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 blah. And that's probably not what we should be doing. Okay, go ahead.
That's true.
So I'm a bit of a freak of nature in this area. I've learned to communicate what's going on. So I come home and I can say, hey, I've had a really rough day and I'm at this place. I need 20 minutes to just decompress and then I can, or I can come in and say various things. I can come in and say, hey, I've had a fantastic day. How's your day been? I'm engaged. I'm ready to go.
So you communicate.
I've been
that
able to communicate that, so it hasn't been a big issue in that area.
Okay, Mark, other Mark?
I just put down that little, the strap thing, little red, black strap thing that you wear, so anyway.
He's saying the answer that I was thinking.
No, that's
All right, you can never go wrong with a little woo-hoo.
Way to go.
Okay! Moving on to the next question.
I don't even bother.
So hot.
Why did you put that on? Take it off.
Okay. Okay. Next question.
Reality.
If a husband happens to be ensnared in an addiction or destructive behavior, what should his wife do?
That's a real tough
Yeah.
question.
I got one.
I got it.
Never mind.
Well, go for it.
Well, we'll start down this end.
No, I don't want to, Mark, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay, you're so polite.
Please.
Debbie's gun is a 380. 380 caliber.
Oh,
Okay, so for the absolute first and foremost thing, prayer. All right, you have to be in prayer over that, because this is not there's no one answer fits all. And this is a huge thing to kind of unwrap. It took us years. It took me years and years and years. It took me going through a failure in our marriage to really understand that when my wife signed up to be my wife, she legitimately wanted to be my partner and my helpmate. I spent half of our marriage protecting her from my sin, the hurt of my sin, when she wanted to be my partner in fighting that. So I acted as an island unto myself. And even today, a lot of men would be like, don't confide in your wife, that'll destroy her. I have learned that for my marriage, that was a lie. I need to be able to confide in my wife. She's my partner. And if I think for 1 second I'm protecting her from my sin, I am denying her the calling that she had from God to be my helpmate. So, but you just start with, it has to be Holy Spirit led. If you do it in your own strength, it will not end well.
This was one I kind of thought about a lot. Was for me, what I've seen is that oftentimes when men are struggling with something and it comes to light, their partner will react with like a lot of anger. They take whether it's pornography or drugs or alcohol, they tend to make it, I don't want to say it like that, they tend to take it very personally, like it's something they did wrong, or it's something they're doing wrong, or
But they're not good enough.
that they're not good enough, like
None of that
whether
is true.
I'm not attractive enough or I'm not enough for my husband, and none of that is true. It's rarely about their wife. It is usually something internally with them, and I've seen quite a few men that struggle with something like that, and then the wife comes out with anger or hostility or is putting their husband down when that kind of comes to light, and it's like, how could you, how terrible of you. And in my struggle with alcohol, no one hated me more than I did. I hated myself. I didn't need anybody putting me down even further. It just kind of, in that situation, I encountered that where it was continual put downs and making me feel worse and worse. And I went, I'm such a failure, drinking makes me feel better. And so it kind of drove me into that. That did not help me. Eventually I found people that encouraged me, and that was a different tactic. So not to take those things personally. And for me, it's like, man, if my wife was going through something and struggling and I didn't know about it, I hope that I would go, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were struggling with something. How can I help you? I had no idea. I'm so sad.
terrified of our wife's disappointment in our failures. We are
Big time.
terrified.
And I think that if she came up with like, just, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you were struggling with this. What can I do? How can I come alongside you? Not an easy thing probably for a wife to do.
Yeah, but you have no idea how badly we don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
thanks. What can a wife do if her husband's ensnared in an addiction or something?
You might be the wrong guy to ask. I'm probably gonna be a little more harsh than these guys. Healthy boundaries right away.
Yeah, you have to have those.
And maybe, of course, love Jesus up front, but if the addiction keeps going, ladies, you have the power. You have more power than you know. And don't forget that. Most guys, a lot of guys will continue on with their addiction if they can. And you said it correctly, it's not about you. the reason the man is acting out is not about you at all. It's about probably anxiety and things he can't handle in his life. It's probably about spiritual warfare. It's probably about a whole bunch of things. But I do see the ladies taking it really personal, especially with the porn issue. And I'm not advocating porn at all. I wish it wasn't hurtful, as hurtful to the women as it is when a guy does get ensnared in that. But I think it's important to keep up the healthy boundaries, and we call it tough love. There's one thing I know more than anything on the planet, it's addiction. And addiction's ugly. And addiction can mean alcohol, drugs, porn, sex, food. It doesn't matter. It's sin is what it is. And when somebody's ensnared in that, it can be tough to get out. It can be tough to get out of that. So we have a community here to do that, but it's a tough go. And I know that, I'll say this, addiction is dark and it can ruin families quickly. But you hold a lot of power in this situation.
So 100% agree. But to tie that back into that prayer and that piece, it really reminded me as you were talking, there is a different type of, you have the I'm sorries and the repentance because I get caught.
Yep.
Versus the repentance because the Lord has brought me to the end of myself and I am truly wanting to change.
Big difference.
Okay? And that's where those boundaries are going to come into play. I think the real big key here is understanding that God designed marriages to be one and done and never break apart, which means you have to be willing to go through seasons of pain to fight for your marriage. Meaning, I am going to put up this boundary and this is not going to happen. If it does, then I may have to move out. But at the same time, you're like, I don't want our marriage to be over. I want to be here for you, but this has to be on God's terms. This has to be a biblical marriage.
Good advice. That was helpful. I think that was really helpful. We might have time for just one or two more questions. What are two of the biggest things a wife can do to create closeness with a guy, closeness with her husband? What can she do to create that emotional closeness? My husband asked me, what does that mean? Thus, we already have a difference between men's wiring and women's wiring. Like women, we all know what emotional closeness means, don't we? Like we all know what that means. We'll see what Micah thinks about that.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, someone give us a definition. If you all know what that means, give us a definition.
Oh, man.
No, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
I know Micah's got an answer for us. I can just
Do I
tell.
have one?
Yes.
I'm not typically a big talker all the time, but I get in these, Amanda always laughs because sometimes I'll get into something and I just am talking and she loves it. She thinks it's hilarious. She's usually the talker for us and she talks a lot and I love it. I like to listen because I've been in a situation where I did not have communication. So,
What creates a connection or a bond between the two of you? Let's use that language. Does that make any more sense?
we talk a lot about scripture. So like when we're laying in bed at night and I love to study scripture and so for me, that's one where we chat a lot about things, and so I find that it goes back to, for me, Jesus, we both have that shared desire to be closer to Jesus and study the scriptures, and we talk a lot about that, and that actually opens doors for us to feel more intimate and closer on that. So
Okay. You had an answer.
I have.
Lance, do you have an answer?
Well, yeah.
You can talk
Like
something.
that?
Yeah, well, for me, humor. Humor and authenticity, and I think would be also being willing to be open, creative. Creativity is a big one too. Just be open in the relationship and new things. Hopefully that answers it.
Okay.
Well, creativity, everywhere.
I'll echo all that too, because open communication, I actually wrote down, a follower of Jesus with a realistic view of life and desires, right? The realistic is a big deal, right? And actually, I would, that question hit me, said, just to keep me on track is what I really enjoy in that whole process of oneness with the wife, is to be bold enough. Cat Stevens song, Hard-Headed Woman, make me do the things that I don't really want to do, but make me do my best, right? And that's part of it too.
Are you saying I'm a hard-headed woman?
Just like you are, Debbie, a gentle, hard-headed woman.
Gentle, hard-headed woman. Perfect.
Karen's not just my wife, she's absolutely my best friend. And I would rather spend time with my wife than any person on this earth. And I don't know
So
how to answer it other than
a
that.
great friend.
She is my absolute best friend, my most trusted confidant. She's my advisor.
Okay, we have time for one last question. So here is the doozy. Well, that's not a doozy. What is one thing you think most women don't understand about men?
I got that.
Oh, who's got that one?
Pretty much everything I wrote down.
One thing, that's pretty much all me.
Pretty much everything. Little.
I think most women just really struggle to understand that men don't think like they do. It's like they just don't understand why a guy is wired differently. And those are some of the things that we have to just, the Bible says there's mysteries, and we are one of them.
We were supposed to clear up the whole mystery tonight, but okay. What is one thing you think women don't understand about men?
I think it's how much we think of them. I think that's really what it is. Like, I mean,
Brownie points, oh my God.
but I think that's what it is. Like,
Brownie points.
I am thinking about her most of the day, even if I am not good at conveying that to her all the time. You know.
And I'm sure you are doing the same.
Oh, man, yes. Day and night.
And most of the time, it's like I'm thinking about what's going to happen when we get home at night and get in bed. It's great. Yeah, that's one that they don't realize how much we think about that too.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Now we're getting down to it, okay.
Running out of time.
We're out of time. We have to have Lance answer.
That was pretty good, Mike. That was really good, actually. Yeah, I gotta agree with everything you said there. We're simple. We're very simple. Just please remember that. I don't think we can say it enough. Attaboys are wonderful.
I wrote that down, attaboy. For my future.
Authentic attaboys.
That wasn't it, right?
But
Attaboy.
you said something that really is true. And I'll speak to you, Colleen. I am thinking about you a lot, about impressing you, doing the right thing, making you happy. It's a big deal, I think, with all of us up here, that we I didn't really put into words until now. We do. We spend a lot of time wanting to make you happy.
The
What a
decisions
great
we
way to
make are.
Yes, it does make up pretty much everything we do, everything.
Wow.
So
You know,
please don't abuse this, but women have the power. You really do.